Ninja Gaiden 2 makes me a little sad. I have no doubt in my mind that it has one of the most intense and rewarding combat systems of all time, with incredibly fluid controls, high speed, relentless enemy patterns, and hefty combat feedback for all its visceral weapons. Unfortunately, due to a rough development, there are multiple versions and none of them feel truly definitive. Game director Tomonobu Itagaki, who sadly passed away at a young age, left his own studio before the launch of Ninja Gaiden 2 on Xbox 360 and then sued the company, leaving a few undercooked aspects in this first version. There are quirks in the Xbox release that were part of the charm and have become iconic among fans, such as the frame rate drop during the stair fight. But it also contained a couple of ridiculously tedious boss battles, such as this worm boss and then this worm boss, on top of some undercooked platforming. The second version, called Sigma 2, then tried to polish the game up. It streamlined some level aspects and the controls for mechanics like the bow. But it also made some overcorrections and created new problems, since they removed the intentionally over-the-top gore entirely and lowered the enemy count overall. Then came Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, announced as the definitive experience of this game over a decade later with all new graphical splendor. Ultimately, it wasn't ever going to satisfy all fans, especially because it built upon the Sigma version, not the original. However, it did bring back some elements from the Xbox version, such as the old upgrade system, which was based on the orbs dropped by enemies instead of being tied to more seldom collectibles. There are also slight improvements to the camera. For example, objects will be moved out of the player's view if necessary. In certain places, enemies have also increased again. And maybe most importantly, it retains the gore and the blood. I know that the art direction feels off in a few spots, like the water level, which is too garish now, but overall, to me, Ninja Gaiden never looked this good before. Being polished up this much, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend Black to any newcomer to the series, especially if they don't have an old Xbox. In fact, I'm of the opinion that all the versions of Ninja Gaiden 2 can be enjoyable because the moment-to-moment gameplay remains one of the best of all time. The battles in Black feel as rewarding as ever, especially on higher difficulties. Some newcomers might be irritated by the camera, because they might be used to lock-on systems from Souls-likes, which have become the more popular style of action games by now. It might seem unintuitive if you didn't play this type of game before, but as weird as it sounds, you just have to trust the camera. It looks chaotic, but it reliably tracks your attacks, even off-screen. Not to mention that you can recalibrate with the shoulder button. This game wasn't built around lock-on, and I personally never had any problems. It's a bummer that they filtered out some of the puzzle solving of the original version in Sigma and then even more in Black. On the other hand, I won't complain that they've nerfed some of the poorly designed bosses of before. The new chapters from Sigma featuring side characters stick out like a sore thumb because you're forced to play with a different gameplay style. At the very least, those annoying statue boss fights were removed in Black. Either way, the combat is tough but rarely feels unfair. Ninja Gaiden 2 looks monotonous but remains addictive throughout the entire campaign. The ridiculous story gives it the right amount of endearing edginess, which can also be skipped as Ninja Gaiden is all about gameplay. You're slashing enemy ninjas and demons, and that's all you need to know. Each new weapon feels different, and even if you're not interested in learning all of its combos, combat feedback feels great from the first moments you lay your hands on the controller. Ultimately, the fact remains that there isn't one edition of Ninja Gaiden 2 that is truly flawless, at least in my opinion. I wish I could take the best parts of all of them into one package, which sadly isn't possible. Still, in all forms, and some rough edges aside, this is an action classic, and with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, I feel more confident than ever recommending it.